Good afternoon to you. Once again, I welcome in construction technique lecture. In the previous lecture, we was seen that the prefabrication constructions, their advantage, disadvantages, then stages in the prefabrication construction technique, and the various processes and the requirement of the material which is required for the prefabrication constructions. Now in today's lecture we are going to learn the another important articles, that is the steel constructions, their planning and field operation, and how to erect the steel. You can say if you want to construct a building with the help of the steel members, okay. So how the operation will be there, then the stages by which we can perform or construct the building on the site, all these things we will see in today's lecture. So steel frame is a building technique with a skeleton frame or the vertical steel columns and horizontal I-beams constructed in a rectangular grid to support the floors, roofs, walls of a building, which are all attached to the frame, such as our traditional building, that is the RCC buildings. Okay. So such kind of the development is going on in case of the construction technology. The development of this technique made the constructions like a skyscraper possible with the help of such steel frame building constructions. The concept behind about this steel construction is that the rolled steel profile or a cross section of steel columns takes the shape of the letter such as a I. The two wide flange of a column are thicker and wider than the flanges on a particular beam to better withstand compressive stresses in the structure. Square and round tabular sections of the steel can also be used, often filled with concrete. Steel beams are connected to the columns with boards and threaded fasteners and horizontally connected by the rivets. The central web of the steel I-beam sections is often wider than a column web to resist the higher bending moment that occur in a particular beam. Wide sheet of steel decks Wide sheets of steel decks can be used to cover the top of the steel frames as a form or the corrugated molds below a thick layer of the concrete and steel reinforcing bars. The another popular alternative is a floor of the precast concrete flooring unit with some form of concrete topping. Now, such kind of the technology is going on. There will be a adapting this technology by all the stakeholders. The typical profile used in case of the residential constructions are the you can say the shape of the you can say the column members or the beam members. Okay. So now I will begin this particular lecture by sharing our PPT with all of you. So let me share the PPT. So here in today's lecture we are going to talk about the steel construction planning and field operations. Okay. So in last lecture we was completed this article, that is the prefabricated constructions, their relative economy. And in today's lecture, we are going to talk about steel construction, planning and field operations. And what are the various stages in case of the steel constructions. Now these are the outline of today's presentation. We have the introductions regarding about the steel constructions preamble. We already completed the preamble parts. Then we have certain advantages of the steel building constructions. Then we have certain disadvantages of steel building constructions. Then main uses of the steel building. Then we have the site investigation, fabrication and key building element of the steel buildings. Then the cost details of the constructions and then suitability of the steel building constructions. So these are the outline of today's the learning things. As far as concerned with the steel construction point of view, steel plays a central role in case of many of the most important structures such as the skyscrapers. So steel structures are generally we can build a structural steel members in case of the you can say industrial. Okay, so if you want to construct an industry, so whatever may be the roof trusses will be there, which is made up of with the help of these steels. So as a designer, as a civil engineer, our responsibility is that we should know the importance things regarding about the steel constructions. So nowadays the traditional RCC building is replaced by the steel buildings. Okay, so in case of the Aurangabad city also, the one of the important building is constructed. I also would like to share that constructions, how it will constructed in the Aurangabad city, who is the designer and who is the owner of that buildings, and what is the total cost of the constructions, and what are the various step by step procedure for the constructions of such kind of the steel buildings in case of the in place of the RCC buildings. I will share with all the things with all of you. Then the steel can either be used for the inner support structure or the outer covering. So always remember that we can use the steel for the substructure, or you can say for the superstructures also. So everywhere we can utilize that particular technique of the steel constructions. And then we have the structural steel frame work are assembled on site. Okay, the process generally involved in lifting and then placing the steel members into the positions and then connecting them together with the help of the bolt connections or the rivet connections or the welded connections. So this is about something the introduction part of the steel. Okay, so everywhere there is a applications of such kind of the technology. Then we look the certain advantages of the steel constructions. Consistent material quality. So if you talk about the quality of the material in case of the steel structures, we will get a consistent material. Okay, then lightweight and strong. If you design the this particular steel members for 100 years or the 50 years design life, then it will serve without any deflections, without any bending up to its design life. So such kind of the steel members having the light in weight and strong, and then non-combustible materials. Okay, and then dimensionally stable in any climate. So in case of the any climatic conditions, for example in case of the summer season, in case of monsoon season, or in case of the winter season, or any hot weather situations or hot weather climate, such kind of the technology is more advantageous. Okay, nowadays, and it is preferable by the various stakeholders. Now, insect resistance and steel will not root, so there will not any, you can say, the effect of the insect. Then can build very tall and wide, tallest building in the world. is constructed with the help of the such kind of the steel structure. Okay, so somewhere certain bridges or the flyovers is also constructed with the help of steel. Then prefabricated frame assemble quickly. So if you prefabricated such a steel members in a particular factory, and if you assemble together on the site, then ultimately the time will reduces, also the cost will also reduces, and the labor will also reduces. So this is certain advantages regarding about the steel constructions. Then if you talk about the disadvantages of steel constructions, it has certain disadvantages. Steel is an expensive material, much more expensive than masonry or concrete. Its initial cost is very high as compared to the masonry or the concrete. Frames are unstable. Generally, we require the very good joining process. Means if you want to join one member to another member, then we can join with the help of the various connecting methods such as bolting or rivet or the welding process. So there will be a possibility of instability in case of various at the joint. Okay, so care should be taken while doing the joint in case of the steel constructions. Needs a fire protections. Okay, so there is a higher chances or the possibility of the fire in case of the steel construction. So we need to take the extra care. We need to apply the certain coats on the steel members to avoid the any fire situation on the site. So this is a disadvantages regarding about the steel constructions. Then needs separate skin. Needs separate skin means what? Generally we have to do certain coating to protect the steel from the any corrosion effect, any sunlight effect, or from the fire. Okay, so we need a special treatment. We need the chemical advanced chemical we have to apply on the steel members to increase its proper strength. Then the main uses of the steel buildings. Generally, steel buildings used as a strong buildings. For example, we can in the modern days we can construct the residential building, commercial building, or the industrial building, or even the bridges or flyovers or the high rise buildings also we can construct with the help of such advanced technology, that is the steel building construction. Then steel building as a scrappers. For example, in case of the metropolitan city, almost all the working is going on in modern days with the help of the steel construction. So we have certain the real site examples. I will share you at the end of this particular lecture all the real site problem where the steel building is constructed. Then steel building used as a office building and the commercial building also. And then the another main uses of steel building is steel building used as a temporary buildings in case of the you can say while constructions of the dam, we need to temporary structures that is known as the coffer dam. So the coffer dam is also constructed with the help of steels. So these are the area where we can use the steel. Then the main uses of a steel building. So what is the main purpose behind the constructions of the steel building? Storage building, then skyscrapers, then office building, temporary buildings. So these are the main uses of the steel buildings. Then the steel building used as a storage building. For example, in this photograph, if you see here, this is a shade, okay, industrial shade, or you can say the small shade. Now, this kind of the shade is constructed with the help of steel, and this is used for the purpose of storage of the any materials. For example, if you want to store the you can say the cement or the steel also, we can store in this you can say the shade. Okay, so this is the shade which is made up of with the help of steel. Okay, so the minimum repair and the maintenance uh, in case of the such kind of the shade, then it is durable, then speed of the constructions and building are movable through deconstructions or the mobility. Okay, so we can remove such kind of the shade. If you want to place this shade on the other construction site, so you can remove this assembly, you can erect this one on the other sites also. So these are the applications or the uses of the steel technology. Then another uses of the steel as a steel building as a skyscrapers. Okay, so such kind of the skyscrapers we can construct with the help of the steel. Strong internal framework, speed of the construction, ease of installation, and design flexibility. So design flexibility means what? You can mold any shapes with the help of steel. Okay, so look at these particular skyscrapers. So a huge height or the building we can construct as a residential or the even the commercial building also nowadays constructed with the help of the steel. So these are the area where we can utilize such technology. Then the steel building used as a office building and the commercial building. So in case of the any types of the office or the commercial building, okay, for the business point of view, we can use such kind of the technology for constructions of the buildings because of its strength and the stability. Then again the speed of constructions, then comparatively less human resource in the installations, so ultimately the labor cost will be reduced. Then we have the design flexibility. Okay, so design flexibility once again plays an important role. Design flexibility means what? At any situation you can modify the change in the design. For example, in case of the office building or the commercial building, if you design a particular member, if you fix a dimension for the beams or the columns, so at a moment you can modify that design. So that is the design flexibility we can achieve in case of the steel constructions. Then steel buildings used as a temporary buildings. So look at these particular structures where we can use as a steel for the temporary building. Ease of the deconstructions means if you want to dismantle this particular building at after particular uses, then we can easily dismantle and we can reuse this particular structure at any places. So these are the you can say the one particular advantages of this steel construction technology. Then again it has the stability and the durability. So such steel building constructions is uses for the temporary building purpose. Then the main things we should understand while using such steel constructions, that is the site investigation. So what do you mean by the site investigation? See, for example, if you want to construct any types of the buildings, okay, it may be the residential, commercial or the industrial. So first we need to do the site investigations. Site investigation means careful the search. Okay, careful search regarding about the you can say the site locations, then the type of the soil available, and then we need to analyze the you can say the load bearing capacity of that particular site. So the main purpose of the site investigation is that to determine the nature of the subsoil. For example, if you want to erect the steel buildings, if you want to construct a G plus 2 steel buildings, Then first we need to understand the types of the soils and their safe bearing capacity and design, you can say design capacity of the soil. So the first site investigation we should do with respect to the soil. Then to determine the bearing capacity of the building, this is we can determine from the load which is coming from all the particular members. Then to determine the possibility of ground movement. So this is the things we can do in case of the site investigations. Okay, so these are the three, you can say, the point we can look while in case of the site investigation. Then after, as per your design, we are going to fabricate all the steel members in the factory itself. So fabrication describe the processing of the steel from manufacturing to the final delivery to a construction project. So the fabrication which include coating, okay, the surface coating of the steel members, then the stock yard storage. So we require the storage shed at a particular site. Then we need certain cutting and then bending, and then if you want to join a particular member, then welding or bolting or riveting. So these are the processes we can keep in our mind while the fabrications of the construction project. Okay, then the technology uses in the constructions. So the technology used in case of the columns. Okay, so look at this particular the steel columns. So here we have the top beam. So this is a particular top beam. Then the side plate is there. So these are the, you can say, the side plate, and we called it as a gusset plate also. Okay, gusset plate on back to back sides of the channel. So or the beams, okay, or the columns. So these are the side plate. Then we also required the packing plate. So the third one is here inside. This packing plate plays and role such as a washer. Means this packing plate cannot, you can say, the main purpose of the packing plate is the stability cannot disturb. Okay, the stability of the column and the beam cannot be disturbed with the help of such packing plate. Then we have also a bottom beam. So here see, we have the bottom beam also. So to resist the load from upper, means from the slabs, then we require the bottom beam, and then we also having the bottom plate. So here we have the bottom plate on which the angles, okay, so these are the angles we have to keep on the particular the members, okay, or the columns. So such assembly or the terminology is used in case of the steel columns. So these are the assembly we require: top beam, side plate, packing plate, then bottom beam, bottom plate, and angles. So as per the requirement of the design, okay, so tension member or the compression members. So what are the various forces which is acting on that particular member, and according to the external force we are going to design. Design means fixing the dimensions of this particular the compression or tension members according to the upcoming loads. So these are the terminology we should understand in case of the steel columns. Then in case of the arch welding, okay, these are the arc welding. So here we can prepare the edges to get the strength, and if you want to connect these two plates with the help of the arc welding, we can do such kind of the joining. Then stiffener plate welded, which get these are the stiffeners, okay, stiffener plate, then get more strength and prevent the curving of the beam. So such are the, you can say, if you want to connect two member with each other, then there are the welding process, then bolting process, and the riveting process will be there. Then look at these particular beams, okay, so 200 by 100 mm, and the 18.2 kg per meter of the weight of this particular beam. So look at this here. We have you can see here another the purlins is there, then 100 mm by you can say the 100 mm. The weight of this particular purlins is 17.2 kg per meter, and we also required one gusset plate in between these two joint. Okay, so at this stage we required the stiffeners also, so it will sustain the load from these particular beams. So we can use the zinc pose plate for the steel. So these are known as the prop or the pose plate. So uh, if you want to remove the corrosion effect, then we can use the sand filter papers to rub the surface to avoid the corrosion from these particular beams. Then using machine grinders also. So if you want to avoid the corrosion, so these are the two things we can do. Either with the help of sandpapers we can remove the corrosion from this particular member, and with the help of machine grinder we can remove the process. So if you use the machine grinder, then ultimately we can speed up the work to avoid the corrosion. Then the construction process of a steel building, the planning for a concerned with the RCC structures. So what are the various point, or what are the various step by step procedure we can follow? First step is to erect the footing. Okay, after footing we can cast the footing, and then we can cast the columns in case of RCC, and then we can cast the beam, slab, staircase in similar fashion as per the design drawing. Okay, as per the design drawing. So we can also go for the step by step procedure for erecting of our residential building also, any public building or any high rise building also. So these are the planning stages we should consider. uh, so three things we should consider, three parameters, that is cost, then program, and the quality. So the cost is subject to the various constraint. Okay, the locally available material. If you want to minimize the cost of the constructions, okay, so we can use the locally available material. We can reduce the transportation cost. Okay, so we can hire the locally available machinery for the construction, therefore we can use the minimize the cost. Then program means we also use the software for design purpose for the steel construction buildings, and then we use another important parameter we should keep in our mind, that is the quality. Okay, so these are the three key indicators you can say we keep in our mind in case of the steel constructions also. Then the steel erections, this is a particular, you can say, the beams. Okay, these are the main beam, and then these are the secondary beam will be there. And look at this particular joint. Okay, so at this particular joint we require the flange. Okay, flange plate, and then this connection is made with the nut and bolts, lifting and placing component into the position and aligning the structure. So we can lift, we can align, and then we can join all the main or secondary beam with the help of certain uh, welding process, or the riveting process, or nut and bolting process. So as a steel designer, all authorities goes for the steel designer. So as per the design, uh, you can erect, you can assemble, and you can align the structures as per the design criteria. Then these are the, you can see, the side bolting. So look at this plate, it has certain groove for the nut and bolt arrangement. So such plate we can use for the purpose of also you can see here, this is a the eye sections. Okay, so this eye section is connected with the concrete also in nut and bolt. So if you want to erect certain the columns or any kinds of the compression member or steel member. We can connect with the help of such nut and bolting. Then here metal deck may be need to be assessed for its ability to stabilize the steel members. Okay, so in case of the precast and pre-stressed concrete members. Okay, so look at these particular diagrams or the figures. Okay, so we required such kind of the high tension reinforcement also. uh, so such arrangement will be there on the side, and with the proper techniques we can erect all the members with each other with the skills under the skill supervision. Then these are the side building we should follow. This is a simple arc welding. Okay, so with the help of that we can join two member with each other. So the side building will be there. Then we have the cost detail for the constructions of different steel buildings elements. So, for example, the this is a total estimated cost. Okay, the cost of the whole construction project is goes around. You can say 48 lakh 4 crore 85 lakh 80,000. Okay, 4 crore 85 lakh 80,000. So this is this project cost is depends upon the area. This is a particular I have taken the total construction cost. So up to the 4 crores 85 lakh or the 5 crores or 6 crore, the cost may goes for erecting such kind of the buildings. So this is a brief idea regarding about the total cost also. Then if you see here, the this is a the abstract sheet. Okay, and this abstract sheet you will learn in case of the your PP subject. So see here we have the element, for example, universal beam in the first column. The size of this particular beam is 350 mm by 175, so its weight is 42 kg per meter. Okay, and the another size of the universal beam members steel members is 400 by 200 mm. The total weight is 57 kg per meter. So look at the quantity, 10.75 in case of the first, you can say the universal beam, and for the second size 69.1. The unit price will be there, uh, uh, 5285, and for the another size we have 4247. So this price is taken from the district schedule rate. Okay, DSR. So DSR plays an important role to fix the unit price. Then the universal column size will be there, 250 by 250, or the weight is 300 by 300. The weight of this particular column size is 101.1 kg per meter, and the quantity we required, for example, 175.6, and the unit price is 7127. For example, we have Lipsy galvanized purlin. We have the sizes, and the thickness of the purlin is 2 mm, and we have the quantity required, that is the 411. The unit price is 1229. Then we also require the galvanized coated angle irons, which has the size of 40 by 40 by 5 mm. Then we have the quantity, for example, 128.2, that is the unit price is 830 rupees. So then we also required the steel trusses. So why I am showing this particular table? So such kind of calculation we required. We need the you can say as the design or the analysis we can use in case of the RCC. So such kind of the analysis we also required in case of the steel constructions. We also require the design philosophy, the that is the analysis, design, and then the fabrication as per our design, and then after fabrication we have to install all these particular members on a particular site, and we can do the nut and bolting or welding or riveting, and then the structure will complete. So we can reduce the time, we can reduce the labor by using such the steel structures. So the suitability of steel building construction in case of any type of the you can say the nations, okay. So the sustainability, then construction or the utilizations. So these are the suitability as per the sustainability, then construction point of view and utilizations. Then sustainability means lack of the natural resource like sand or bricks. Okay. So in case of the RCC structures, there will be a possibility of the lack of natural resources such as sand or bricks, inadequate local production of cement. Okay. Reusability of the steel. So this is one of the important key indicators. In case of the steel members, there will be a possibility of sustainability. Okay. Then the construction point of view, as per the steel construction, we can achieve the greater speed of the construction, the cost of the construction will reduces, and another thing is that the utilizations. Okay. So car park of the Department of Inland Revenue, warehouses, petrol sheds, or the network towers, okay, mobile towers, etc. We can use the steel structure for fabrications of any such type of the work. This is not limited, but we can construct such kind of the work with the help of the steel structure. So now in case of Aurangabad city here, I would like to share with you one of the important, you can say the houses is constructed in Aurangabad city. In Aurangabad city, within the 2000 square feet, you can say uh, steel structure or steel house is constructed in Aurangabad city. I will share with all of you one video. So I would like to share that video with all of you. So see here, I am going to share this video with all of you.
औरंगाबादमध्ये उभारलं स्टीलचं घर. औरंगाबाद 21 जून. औरंगाबादेत आश्चर्य करणारी बाब समोर आली आहे. ना वीट, ना वाळू, ना सिमेंटचा वापर करत त्यांनी चक्क 8 दिवसामध्ये स्टीलचा बंगला उभारलाय. या पर्यावरणपूरक घराचे मालक अशोक अमृतकर हे आहेत. स्टीलच्या बंगल्यामध्ये राहण्याचा अनुभव सांगताना अमृतकर यांनी मला आत्मिक समाधान वाटत असल्याचं सांगितलंय. सिमेंटच्या बांधकामामुळे तापमान वाढते. बांधकाम मजबूत होण्यासाठी भरपूर पाणी लागतंय. कामाच्या ठिकाणी ध्वनी आणि हवेचे प्रदूषण होते. शिवाय काम पूर्ण होण्यासाठी वेळही लागतो. मात्र हे सर्व काही टाळत औरंगाबादमध्ये अवघ्या 8 दिवसात स्टीलच्या वापरातून 3 मजली आलिशान इमारत उभारण्यात आली आहे. इमारतीच्या पायापासून घरातील इंटेरियरपर्यंत सर्व काही पर्यावरणपूरक आहे. अशोक अमृतकर यांना गांधीनगर येथे त्यांनी हे घर उभारलंय.
आणि लवकरात लवकर वेळ त्याला आजकाल लेबरचे प्रॉब्लेम, बाकीच्या बऱ्याचशा अशा गोष्टी असतात तर आपण तेवढं लक्ष देऊ शकत नाही सगळ्या ठिकाणी. आणि माझा गुंतवणुकीचा व्यवसाय असल्यामुळे सर्व्हिस सेक्टर असल्यामुळे मलाही तेवढा वेळ नव्हता. म्हणून लवकरात लवकर कसं करता येईल यासाठी आम्ही हा निर्णय घेतला. आणि याच्यातही मला बराच फायदा झाला की एक तर लवकर झालं आणि ही माझी इन्व्हेस्टमेंट झाली. कारण बाकीचं मी RCC जर केलं असतं तर तो माझा खर्च ठरला असता. मी याला परत कधी पण रिसायकलिंग करू शकतो. त्यामुळे मी हा
So such kind of the, you can say, the technology is going on nowadays. Also I will share with all of you certain you can say the new technology which is adopted throughout the world. So I will share with you this technology is adopted in case of the, see here. Now this is one of the important you can say the steel structure is built. That is the University of Orengo, Hatfield, Dublin. This is a football performance center. Earn a merit award for the design and the structure of the facility. Jeremy, you can say Wetterman. So this is a stadium, football stadium, which is constructed by the American Institute of the Steel Constructions. Now, the another important, you can say here, this is another important project. Ryan Daverty's, you can say the building name, owner, all the things are given here, structural designer name and the general contractors, okay, and the consultant is given here. Now this particular project is, you can say, designed with the help of the steel structures. Then also I would like to share with all of you, this is another, you can say, the steel structures is constructed. The owner is, this is constructed in Texas, Australia. So why I am showing all of you these particular structures, because it will adapted throughout the world. So this is another structural members. Then this is also one of the important, you can say, the merit award held on Columbus downtown High Street Bridge. Okay, so this is a particular bridge in Columbus. Okay, street bridge in Columbus. So this is constructed with the help of the steel. All the details are given. Then another here, this is a particular project, Polytechnic University. So this is a particular building which is constructed with the help of steel structures. Then this is also a University of Oregon, Hatfield. Then this is a particular merit award, Pomona College Studio Art Hall, which is constructed with the help of the steel structures. Then this is a Central Arizona College, Maricopa campus. Then also we have the certain kinds of the steel wagon high roller, with the, this is constructed with the help of steel. The design life is also mentioned, 50 years design life. Then this is another important structures, Regional Transportation International Center. Then this is John Joy College of Criminal Justice, New York. So this is the college which is constructed in the New York by the steel technology, steel construction technology. So these are the area where we can use such kind of the steel technology. So what I mean say with the help of these particular steel structures, we should follow certain steps. Okay, we should follow certain building bylaws as we follow in case of the RCC structures. Same building bylaws is there, but it has certain you can say limitations. Okay, in case of the steel structures. Now I am going to share with all of you one important video of the steel structures, how it will erect. How it will erect.
Structural steel construction explained. This film includes the construction of multi-story building, roof trusses for airport terminal building, roof covering, tank construction using jack-up method, pipe rack, pipe spool fabrication, steel pipeline, slug catcher, cranes lifting distillation column. Multi-story building. The off-site fabrication of steel members and the rapid on-site assembly is the advantage of using structural steel for buildings and structures. The drawing showing the holding down bolts plan is sent to site. It contains horizontal and vertical dimensions for placing the holding down bolts, as well as dimensions and elevations for the leveling plates / shims. An erection drawing would clearly illustrate the method and sequence by which steel members will be erected and installed. The outline erection sequence. Erect the columns, install the beams, align and plumb the structure, tighten the connection bolts, grout the column base plates, install floor decking, and pour concrete slabs. The outline erection methods. Use the reinforced concrete, stairs and lift core to provide stability to the partly erected steelwork. Install any required temporary bracing or propping to the incomplete structure. Use the tower crane to erect the columns and install the beams. Use mobile elevating work platforms to gain access at height to install bolts and unhook lifting slings. Align and plumb the structure using turfs and wire ropes. Perimeter safety cables are installed at the interior and exterior perimeters of the floor and at openings as soon as the metal decking has been installed. Crane lifting operation. To lift columns, connect lifting hooks to design lifting points or brackets. To lift beams, two-legged slings will be used and will be double wrapped to prevent the legs sliding together. Lifting hooks to have safety catch. Tag lines will be attached to the load to prevent the load spinning and swinging and to help to position it. Roof trusses for airport terminal building. The 200-ton weight roof trusses are delivered to site in sections by ship and trucks. The trusses are assembled on trestles and are lifted into position by a crawler crane with a counterweight wagon. The crane has a maximum lifting capacity of 3,200 tons. Roof covering. Shown are the methods to construct the roof covering that is made up of deck sheets, vapor barrier, top hat sections, fixing clips, insulation, top sheet with standing seams that is rolled on site. The standing seams are clamped. Shown are the construction activities. Tank construction. A steel circular tank used for the storage of oil. Shown is a construction sequence using the jacking, also known the top-down method. The floor plates are installed. What will be the top ring is assembled and welded. The roof is assembled and welded. The top ring and the roof are jacked up. The next ring is assembled and welded under the jacked up ring. The process is repeated for subsequent rings. Finally, the bottom ring is welded to the floor plates. The advantage of this method is there is less time working at height. Pipe rack. Shown is the construction sequence, method and plant for a gas processing plant pipe rack. The pipe rack carries pipes and cables. The pipes contain gas and liquids that are transported to and from the different processes. Prefabrication of pipe spools. Pipe spools are fabricated from pipes and pipe fittings. Example, elbows, flanges, tees, etc. in the fabrication shop. Pipeline, welding and laying. Shown is a construction sequence, method and plant for excavation, bending pipes, jointing pipes by welding, lifting and placing the pipe string in the excavated trench and backfilling the trench. Slug catcher. The slug catcher buffers the incoming gas and liquid from the wellheads. It also separates the gas from the water and oil. The slug catcher is supported on reinforced concrete columns and beams. Shown is a construction sequence. Cranes lifting column. Lifting oil refinery distillation column from the horizontal and rotating to the vertical without touching the ground using 2 cranes.
So these are the area where we can use such particular technology. Okay. So I am going to download the attendance. Okay. So think about the constructions of the steel building. Okay. And as per your project point of view, also think about steel building. And if you do the analysis and design of such kind of this project, then it is very, you can say, weightage. It has its own weightage. So try to take any group. I appeal to any group. Okay, if you take a certain the advanced construction technology, and if you modify with, you can say, with the RCC, and if you compare the cost of the construction with the RCC with the same area and the steel structures. Okay, for example, if you construct a RCC building and if you construct with the same dimensions with the steel buildings, so what is the difference? Okay, how you have to compare with the cost, you have to compare with manpower, machinery, time, and the age with which we can do the work. So such kind of project, if you take, this is very important in modern days. So if anybody is having any question, please ask at this stage. Otherwise, I am going to stop the today's recording.